Homesteads are the biggest feature added to the game with the Janthir Wilds expansion. While there are some rough spots, this feature is largely just incredible. You can do so much with your homestead and create some absolutely incredible things, which many players in the community have done. And in order to do all of this, it all comes down to the specific individual decorations. And there are a ton of them available, but I wanted to go over my top 10 favorite ones that you can use. So let's get started. In the number 10 spot are the Canthan Condiments. This is a pretty basic and generic decoration that you would typically want to use in the kitchen. It's a collection of different condiments, sauces, spices, and more from Cantha. Basically everything the name describes. And I just love the simplicity of this idea, but how it is much more interesting in concept compared to other decorations. You always think about how you would need a chair or a bed or a table in your house, but what about condiments? I'm someone who personally likes to cook a lot, and my fiance and I keep a lot of spices and sauces around the house to make a wide variety of different things, many of which could probably be seen here. So I just really appreciate being able to add some condiments to my kitchen in my homestead, plus the decoration as a whole is definitely interesting looking and does look nice on a counter. In the number 9 spot is the fog machine. This is a super cool decoration because it can add a weather effect to your homestead. This is a winter stay item that is basically a small little slightly open gift that you can place somewhere, and when you activate it, it simply makes a fog effect. This is one of the few functional decorations in the game, where most of the time you would want to put down a decoration specifically to make an area look nicer or to create a larger project. But with this, you would probably want to try to hide the gift itself somewhere and then utilize the fog that is being produced by it in a variety of ways. You could have some fog adding some ambiance, or make a cool transition from one room to the other, or come up with many different ideas. In the number 8 spot is Oakheart's Essence. This one is just super nostalgic for me. Going all the way back to Living World Season 3, Episode 5, we see the Oakheart's Essence introduced to the game and play an important part in the navigation of the Draconis Mons map. This is just a super fun ability that lets you grapple to different parts of the map, but you can only grapple after picking up a vine from a set source. With this new ability, you could also get an Oakheart's Essence that you could set down in your guild hall, and I love this so much. Back before we had mounts, it was so much fun to use this all around your guild hall, mess around with it, and help you reach certain areas. So with homesteading, I was very happy to see that we could create these and put them in our home. Since we have mounts nowadays, and we also have the bee transformation inside of the homestead itself, it is definitely much less usable, but it can serve as a nice vase with some vines coming out of it for decoration, and it is still pretty fun to use if you want to mess around with it, or try to incorporate it into a jumping puzzle. In the number 7 spot is the Kodan Hero statue. This decoration feels really random to throw on this list, but I just really like it a lot. When I went to Harvest Inn for the first time, I saw the statue outside of the main building. I thought it just looked super cool, and whenever I pass through Harvest Inn again, I always get a glance of the statue and think again about how cool it looks. It might be one of the most iconic parts of the expansion if I am being honest, but I remember thinking to myself about how I would really want to get this decoration in my homestead, and I eventually did. It is pretty cheap to make and it looks super cool, and I love having it in my homestead. But this decoration also highlights how cool homesteading and Guild Wars 2 can be if you get into it. You have the decoration itself, but you can flip it around to have some carvings of trees that you can use as decoration, or if you completely flip it upside down, you then have a larger log that you can use as a table or a stepping stone or really anything you can imagine. The possibilities with this decoration and most other decorations are truly endless if you are creative enough. In the number 6 spot are rental posts. My one vague answer for this list, and this list goes out to all the rental posts that you can make. These serve the same purpose where you can interact with this post to get the specific amount that the specific rental post is offering, like a raptor rental from a raptor rental post, similar to what we see at many of the Guild Wars 2 festivals for the festival races. The decoration itself definitely looks pretty cool. It has nothing too grand going on, but I am definitely someone who appreciates the simple decorations and whatnot in Guild Wars 2. But the utility this offers is just super cool from a community standpoint. On one hand, this allows you to let other players who haven't unlocked a specific mount yet to mess around with that mount in your homestead. So if you have a friend who wants to try out the Springer, you can let them in your homestead. Then on top of that, you could also build courses in your homestead specifically catered to the different mounts and have them marked by these posts, while allowing players who enter your homestead to grab the appropriate mount and try out the course. And the number 5 spot is the Kodan Feast. I mean, come on. I just have to add this to this list. Even in fact, I highlighted this beautiful decoration, dubbed the Snapcat Eelster by some in the community, in my top 10 things in Lowland Shore video. This is one of the most popular new assets added to the game with the Janthir Wilds expansion, and it is just so fantastic that it was added as a homestead decoration. Looking at the decoration, it is just a beautiful masterpiece. You got a giant slab in the center with the incredible Snapcat Eelster inside that really puts the turducken to shame. You have this, which I would never touch in a million years, and then you got a bunch of fun fruit, snacks, and other appetizers all around the central slab that add a lot of minor details to this one decoration. I talked about how the Canthan Condiments is nice to have in your kitchen. Well, this is definitely nice to throw onto your dining table. In the number 4 spot is the Fractal Console, another usable item that is just super fun. Very similar to the Oakheart's essence, this is an item that I love to use in guild halls, and it is just fantastic to have in your homestead as well. It is definitely more on the expensive side compared to other decorations, but isn't too bad. The looks of it are a classic looking Asuran console, which would be great to incorporate into any sort of Asuran or tech-based build. But the thing here is how you can interact with the console to gain 4 different effects. The first is low gravity, and this is a pretty straightforward concept where you can just have low gravity on your character. This is fun to mess around with, but could also be used to make a unique style of jumping puzzle. Then you got Nova Launch, which is a targeted leap, and the fun and interesting ideas of low gravity are the same here, but with a leap ability. Then you have Nova Transformation, which turns you into this dark blob that is a being of pure light and energy that basically allows you to fly around your homestead, similar to the bee transformation. Then you can activate Slippery Slope, which makes all the surfaces slick and lets you slide around, which, once again, can be fun to mess around with or could be used to make a very challenging jumping puzzle. And the number 3 spot is Mr. Quiggles. I feel like this one might be slightly controversial because some people really hate this decoration, but I'm not entirely sure why. This plush Quaggan is just so adorable and is showcased in the game in a very unique way. You can find Mr. Quiggles in Janthir Century, who is a toy of a Kodan there. After progressing through the main story, you unlock the Build a Quaggan side story, where you can go around the expansion maps and also to a few areas in the rest of Tyria to make a new Mr. Quiggles, and that is just a super fun side story that gives a lot of bonus flavor to this decoration. When you get a homestead, you can find a plush Mr. Quiggles by the workshop, and then with the Winter's Day update, you can make more Mr. Quiggles that you can put all around your homestead wherever your heart desires. And as someone who loves Quaggans a lot, this is just a fantastic addition to the homestead, and I love having this little guy around. And the number 2 spot is the Café Console. This is the homestead decoration that played the central part in the new April Fool's Festival this last year. As far as the decoration itself goes, it looks pretty decent, and it fits in with different Canthan vibes. But the important part about this is how it adds a new, pretty big minigame that you can play in your own homestead. If you place it down, you can interact with it to see different cafe decorations and cafe upgrades that you can earn through playing a minigame where you serve customers. You can open up your cafe and customers will come to any of the cafe chairs you have placed down and put in an order. You can then serve that customer by giving them their order, and you will eventually earn cafe coins that you can spend on those aforementioned decorations and upgrades. Doing this will allow you to improve your ability to play this minigame even more, give you some more fun details to add to your cafe, and allow you to earn more and more coins until you reach the maximum potential as you unlock every upgrade. And there is a lot of stuff going on here with the different upgrades that do different things, and obviously this is just Guild Wars 2's take on a cafe or restaurant or other management type of games where you have to keep track of orders and deliver the orders before your customers, cats in this case, get upset. And it is ultimately a small part of the game, but a fun part. With all of that, the introduction of this decoration inspired me a lot and motivated me to create my first big, more elaborate build in my homestead, where I made my own little cafe where I can play this game. But now for the number 1 spot, for my favorite homestead decoration in all of Guild Wars 2, and it has to go to the Wayfinder's versatile table. Now I debated whether or not I should have this be the number 1 spot, but it is genuinely such an awesome decoration. The reason why I was debating is because the way you unlock this decoration is through purchasing the Janthir Wilds Deluxe upgrade, which costs 25 USD or 2400 gems through the gem store. And you get a bunch of other items with this upgrade, but I obviously only care about this decoration for this video, and it is in fact actually my favorite thing in this upgrade. And once you get the copy from this upgrade, you unlock the ability to craft more, and it is very cheap to craft. When you place this decoration down on the ground, you get this incredible looking table that I just love a lot. It's a really cool design and it can fit in well to many different parts of your homestead, and you could decorate this table in different ways if you wanted to, but you can interact with the table to get 3 additional incredibly elaborate setups. Should you select the navigation tabletop, you get an incredible map of Tyria with a bunch of other scrolls, candles, and many other decorations that are super fun. Should you select the war planning tabletop, you get a cool map of the desert borderlands in WVW with a bunch of markers, this pusher stick thingy which I just learned is called a plotter rod, some miniatures, some crystals, and a bunch of other decorations. Then finally, my favorite, should you select the board games tabletop, you get this absolutely incredible D&D board that includes a super detailed DM seat, a full-on fight, some allies, some snacks, and so many other cool decorations. I love looking at this and just thinking about all the action going on here, and looking at this for a long period of time really makes me want there to be a tabletop RPG that is set in the Guild Wars universe. But I love all the different variations of this table, the board game tabletop most of all, and this table is my favorite homestead decoration in all of Guild Wars 2. And that's my list. I hope you enjoyed. Homesteading in Guild Wars 2 can be a bit of a gold and time sink, but it is definitely super fun to get into. I love using different decorations to improve my home and create fun builds. If you like this video, please feel free to subscribe as I am approaching 4,000 subscribers. I hope you all are taking good care of yourselves. Have a good one, everyone.